Hello everyone, my name is Joy and I'm a Nigerian YouTuber based in Lagos. Today we are basically just going to be talking about say no to child trafficking and drug trafficking. Yes, say no to drug abuse, say no to drug misuse. You should know the dosage of a drug before you start taking it. So if they give you a drug in the hospital, before you start using it, you can go back home and go and check the actual dosage of the drug, so that just in case they mistakenly gave you an overdose or underdose, you would know. It's even better to even be given an underdose than to be given an overdose, because the overdose can have a negative effect on you as against what the underdose could have done. You know, there was a scenario of a time where they gave somebody a drug that was to be taken once a day. They gave the person a prescription of 2-3 times a day. That is times 6 of what it was supposed to be, you know. So imagine if the person didn't eventually, you know, tell someone who knew that that was not the correct prescription. You know, there are some times I go to the hospital and then they'll just give you a drug, no name. They're not giving you the packet yet. On the slip, that transparent nylon, they give you drugs in, they didn't put name. And I'm like, please write the name on this drug, because I didn't want a scenario when I would take overdose or anything. And they wrote the names, so some people will just leave the hospital like that without knowing they don't know the name of the drug they are taking, because it's not in a packet, and then the transparent slip does not have a name. Me, I will tell you, please write the name on it so that I can go home, I can cross-check with other professionals if the dosage is correct, and even check online and all of that. Yes, so do not misuse drugs. It's not every time you must take Panadol or ibuprofen or diclofenac if you do not need it. All right, do not misuse drugs. You are not to be taking drugs with carbonated drinks or juice. It is most preferably and most advisably with water, not with drinks. Hello. So another thing is say no to child trafficking. You know, a number of times people allow their children to play with other neighbors' children. There's nothing wrong with that, but you have to know the kind of neighbor you have. You know, you don't want to risk getting your child into the hands of maybe an organ harvester or some other weird person who would maybe give your child hard drugs or any of that. You know, so you have to be careful where your child goes, who your child spends time with, you know, what they eat at that person's place, what they do there, how they play, and all of that. Because those people will not use their own children to do the child trafficking. You know, it's maybe another person's child, and unfortunately you not send your child there. That's another thing. And then you should try as much as possible not to let your neighbors send your children on unnecessary errands. Basically, they have their own children to send, or they can go by themselves, because if anything should go wrong, they will just tell you sorry. They may even start fighting you. They may not even apologize or anything. They will just start fighting you and say it's not their fault. The child could have gone out by themselves. And you know, you should also mind where you send your child to. It's not every time you send your child to go and pick up something from a neighbor. You don't know if the neighbor has an ulterior motive. So you basically have to be extremely careful of where you send your children to, and then who they go out with and everything. Because, you know, some people may say, oh, let's travel with your children, let's take your children out to travel, but they may just be trying to traffic your children, you know, taking them to countries abroad, countries overseas. Meanwhile, they're taking them there for maybe prostitution or child trafficking or organ harvesting and all of that. So you basically have to be extremely careful, and let it just be a warning to parents to mind how they treat their children, so that they will not try to run away from home, and so that they will not be subject to just what anyone just tells them. You know, let them imbibe in them good character, so that they won't listen to just what every single person tells them, you know, and learn to confide in you about what's going on with them, basically. If you liked this video, please do not forget to give this video a thumbs up. Comment down below what you think about drug trafficking, drug abuse, drug misuse, and child trafficking. Share this with your friends, and do not forget to hit the red subscribe button, and I will see you in my very next video. And make sure you turn on the post notification bell so that you can be notified when I post my next video. Bye.